FIFA Jerome Valcke scores Brazil World Cup 2014. Is this a Brazil nut job? FIFA Secretary General Jerome Valcke says Brazil is doing a whole lot of nothing getting ready to host the 2014 World Cup soccer tournament. And now Brazil wants to turnkey Valcke and cut off his blood supply to wherever his cutting barbs come from. They don't? Well, they sure want to cut him off with the knees, theoretically. Practically, they want a new FIFA liaison. Valcke took this about as well as anybody who's just been dumped. He called their demand puerile. Brazilian Sports Minister Aldo Rebelo is not a very good sport, if we can believe he actually said this. We can't accept to hear such an offensive comment. He, Valcke, can't say something like that about a country. It's unacceptable. Jeez, if we start to outlaw bad thoughts about other countries, every diplomat will never be able to let down their guard, and every tourist will be banned from going home to prevent their talking behind the back of the country they just visited. Meanwhile, what is going on or not with the setting of the stage for soccer's super show, the World Cup 2014? 12 cities will flaunt their wares and give it the old college cry for this once every 4 years blowout. Half are building new stadiums, while the others are doing major rebuilds or upgrades. All well and good and necessary, but will Brazilians later use or travel to the far-flung places like here, and not to mangle this name either? Ricardo, and not to mangle this name, the Brazilian Football Confederation President CBF, exhibits that execrable, not-so-quaint train of thought that a country's infrastructure should remain lousy until the threat promise of gas prompts governments to make things right, all so that pop-in for a few weeks folks might take home a nice opinion of the place. For long-suffering, taken-for-granted citizens with a plaint, who cares? Maybe Brazil got off on the wrong foot with the three hands. That's how many paws are groping and copping feels as they caress the soccer trophy. But the hands are the ball. They're playing with themselves. This logo is called Inspiration, and if one wishes, pines, and dreams to grow an extra hand, this logo is the one for you. Anyway, this design is the symbol for the 2014 Brazil World Cup. Perhaps if Brazil had scaled back the extra hand and kept the matters at hand, things wouldn't be such a shambles, although being tarred by tainted FIFA, obviously and rightly, has peeved and pissed Brazil. The CBF is calling the shots along with FIFA with respect to who plays where, when, and why. But no matter where, the legions of foreign and rich domestic fans have got to get there by air. To that end, billions of dollars in bucks or euros, your call, will be hopefully well spent in upgrading 10 of the venue's airports. An estimated 500,000 to 600,000 fans will be sending into Brazil, and while airport life in every country is like death warmed over in heightened security and crater deficiency, it has been deemed by Infraero, the Brazilian State Airport Management Agency, that a comfy experience should be tried for. FIFA ruled the host cities will see all the teams, making for huge flying forays for fans and teams alike. So lots of the airports are building monorail lines or metro lines that will connect them to their town stadium. That's a cool feature for the transients, but how much traffic will such lines get when the party's over and the carousers have hit the proverbial road? Usage might shrink faster than demands you-know-what in a chilly pool. And Brazilian politicians may be poolside drunk on their own legislative power to do or not do something. Consider, since winning the right to host this hootenanny back in October 2007, the politicians have been having at it and haranguing over something called the World Cup Bill. Primarily, it speaks to whether spectators can drink booze in the stadiums. Forget lower prices for seniors and students. This is mainly about the guests, don't forget. Right now, political abstainers and war-on-fun, packed and petty parochialism politicians have banded together to not pass this bitter pill bill. This is driving FIFA executives to drink, envisioning dry stadiums. Attitudes might turn very hard if soft drinks are the menu. Brazil is adamant. It wants this World Cup to be a legacy. Well, if this host job pawns and pushes this hose job and the taps remain teetotaler, they shouldn't blink an eye, because they'll have left a profound, putrid Limburger cheese lasting legacy. Bet and smell on it. Okay, basically the alcohol debacle is a straight out of the bottle, follow the money deal. FIFA says sponsors ante-up for the World Cup. One of the sponsors is Anheuser-Busch. They brew beer. At least the swill from a former sports minister, Orlando Silva, has been swallowed. Mr. Silva resigned to defend his honor after being accused of misappropriating 20 million plus in funds earmarked for needy kids. So he's on the outs, as are some ostensibly other dirty dealers, drug dealers. They are being rousted out of favelas that ring Rio by the military and police who have encamped, they say permanently, in these life-is-cheap neighborhoods. Where suffering fans that need narcotics to ease the pain of soccer losses will get their mind-numbing drugs from is a good question, better not asked. No need to ask, the final match will be played at Rio de Janeiro's Maracana Stadium. With Brazil's vaunted victorious record and the beautiful game samba style they are famous for in these tournaments, coupled with the Christ the Redeemer statue overlooking this final venue, one would expect and need the country to pull together, pray a bit and bleed, and do whatever must be done to make this do run.